Welcome to my review of the Strand in Gillingham, which I went to loads of times back in the 90s when I was very young. Back then it was very good. It was considered one of the best leisure parks about. And if you look on the internet you can hear about other people's happy stories of going to the Strand as far back as the 50s. But today is in a pretty bad state, as over the last 10 years Medway Council have been neglecting it. Let's take a look at what the Strand is like today. Coming down the hill to the main entrance, where you'll notice there's 4 car parks, as this place used to be so busy. There's 1 main car park and 3 overflow car parks, which today are barely used as hardly anyone comes here except for in the summer when there's that annoying fairground thing, but the rest of the time hardly anyone comes here because of the state of this place. And now let's take a look at the map, and on this map there's one big main feature which is missing, the thing Medway Council don't want you to know about: the sewage works. That's right, you heard me correctly. In the middle of this leisure park there is a sewage pump. I think it's to pump the sewage over to Motley Hill. First let's take a look at his sewage pump. It absolutely stinks here of Pseudomonas. This is disgusting. How can they have a sewage pump right in the middle of a leisure park? This is totally disgusting. Absolutely stinks of sewage, and this bit here I think is where the sewage collects when the pump's not running. And right next to his sewage pump there is a children's nursery. If I had a child I certainly would not send them here. And now let's take a look around the rest of the Strand. Now along to outside of the cafe, and this cafe is horrible. It absolutely stinks of rats and is quite a nasty cafe, but it doesn't smell as bad as the cafe at Riverside Country Park, which smells absolutely disgusting. Anyway, now to the left is the children's play area, which I'm very cross about, as back when I was a child in the 90s this was a very fun play area. It had a tall climbing frame with a very big slide, but when I was about 10 years old I think, Medway Council replaced it with a stupid, small, dull, boring climbing frame. I was very cross. Stupid Medway Council and stupid health and safety. I'm so glad I was a child back in the 90s and not today, because children nowadays just don't have any fun. Anyway, now moving on along to the paddling pool, which is absolutely filthy. The water here is absolutely disgusting. If I had a child I'd certainly not let them in this. The water is so unhygienic. I don't even know if the water's chlorinated. This paddling pool is just horrid. And now going along to the main swimming pool, which is only open during the summer holidays. The rest of the year this is closed. This swimming pool has the coldest water out of all of the swimming pools in Medway. And now, carrying along the Strand, and now along to where the miniature railway crosses over the path. I'll come back to the miniature railway later. On the left there's another children's play area and a sandpit. Also, there used to be bushes that sectioned off for different areas at this part of the Strand. Now the bushes have been cut down, the whole place feels rather bare. Also, remember, next to this play area and sandpit, just across the path and over this wall, there is the sewage pump. And now, going along to the shed for the golf, crazy golf, tennis courts and 5-a-side football courts. This shed's supposed to open in the summer holidays, every weekend in summer, half terms and Easter holiday. But this year it is only open during the summer holidays. The weekends it was supposed to open, it hasn't. This is because, once again, Medway Council have run out of budget. Just typical. And now, first let's go down and look at the 5-a-side football court and the tennis courts. Here is the 5-a-side football court. It looks kind of okay, a bit boring-ish if it was free, but no, they charge you for it. But anyway, most people don't even pay when they play football here, because most of the time the shed where you pay is shut. Even when the shed is open, the one member of staff in this shed is hardly checking if you were to pay. Medway Council wants just to play on this pathetic 5-a-side football court. They want £14 an hour. I don't believe it, £14 an hour just to play football on this football court. That's stupid. And now along to the tennis courts, which you're also supposed to pay to play on, but most people don't pay. Today are some people playing tennis here and they can't have paid since the hut was shut, and even when the hut is open, once again there's only one member of staff hardly checking. If you were to pay to play on these tennis courts, well, it's conflicting information on Medway Council's website, because when Medway Council increased the prices at the Strand, they only updated some parts of their website. Typical unorganised Medway Council. Well, what do you expect? It's only stupid Medway Council. They're always stupid. Anyway, if you were to pay to play on these tennis courts, it'd cost you £3. But if you wanted to hire the racket and ball, it's another £2 to hire the racket and another £1.50 to hire the tennis ball. And now along to the golf course. Looking at this golf course, it looks nice and green. Why don't they just forget about golf and just have it as a nice park? Especially since this golf course takes up more space than any other item on the Strand. Anyway, now let's take a look around this golf course. Look at how overgrown with weeds this sand bunker is. Now, I don't know much about golf, but talking to people that know lots about, they say the greens are so bumpy and have so many weeds on, you can't have a proper game of golf here. This golf course is not worthy of paying money to play on. And now, going along to the Crazy Golf, which costs £2.50 per person to play on. But once again, the shed is shut most of the time and it's not open even on the days it's supposed to be open. This Crazy Golf is in quite a poor state and is quite overgrown. And now, let's take a look at the river, and it is a view of the river mud and the power station. Not much of a view. Now on to the miniature railway. This miniature railway is very overgrown, and this part of it you can barely even see the track. I'd be very surprised if they could actually get a train along this. Even when this miniature railway was working back in the 90s, it kept derailing, let alone today. When I last saw this railway working, I think it was last year, they were only running at half speed. Very pathetic. But Medway Council simply doesn't want to spend the money to repair it. This miniature railway is in a very poor state. At this point of the miniature railway, there are some points, because a very long time ago, as you get 2 trips round for your money, on the first time round, it'd go past missing out the station, but I've never seen it do this. They must have stopped doing this in the 80s or something. And now, going along to the station, and also, just like the shed, this railway is supposed to run every weekend in summer, the summer holidays, half-terms and the Easter holiday. But once again, this year it has only ran in the summer holidays. Let's see how long it'd take me to run around the track.